Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back, way back, to a time before mirrors, before fashion magazines, and long before you ever had to decide between dewy or matte finish. You're crouched in the smoky mouth of a cave, the firelight flickering against the stone walls behind you. Your hands are stained from crushing ochre into powder, and you're smearing it carefully across your cheeks, not for war, not for art, but because someone once said it made your skin look alive. There's no TikTok, no Sephora, but you still care how you look, because even 30,000 years ago, someone was probably judging. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And tell me, where are you watching from? And what time is it where you are? Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You clutch a strip of animal hide, freshly scraped and still a bit pungent. You've tied it around your waist with sinew. It's less belted silhouette and more, at least it covers you. But in a world where everything is function over flair, even this is a statement. The fur is scratchy. You itch constantly. But the elder of your group nodded in approval when you first put it on, and now you wear it like armor. Your hair is tangled. You run a smooth bone comb through it. Yes, they had combs, and twist bits into braids. The women in your band say, the gods favor those who decorate themselves. So you string shells into your hair, smear crushed charcoal around your eyes, and scent your skin with smoke and herbs. It's survival, sure, but also performance. Historians still argue whether this early adornment was spiritual, social, or pure aesthetics. Some suggest the ochre was symbolic, marking rites of passage or fertility. Others believe it was camouflage for hunting, or even early sunblock. And then there's the theory that you just thought it looked kinda cool. Your world is brutal. Teeth fall out by 25. Infection lurks in every scrape. But for some reason, you still take time to paint your body, carve patterns into beads, and help your friend decide which feather looks best behind her ear. Beauty, apparently, is primal. You catch your reflection in a pool of water, distorted, but enough. You lean closer, tilt your head, adjust a line of ochre. There's no lighting crew, no ring light, but you know how to angle your face. That instinct, it's already hardwired. And the men? They've got their own flair. Elaborate tattoos, animal teeth necklaces. And, yes, some of them probably copied your look. The distinction between masculine and feminine is still a foggy idea. Right now, survival ranks above gender norms, though you do sense the unspoken rules. Certain colors are for leaders. Certain beads mean taken. And don't even think about copying that elder's necklace unless you're ready to challenge her authority, which, to be clear, you are not. You've heard tales of other tribes, women who pierce their faces with bone, who file their teeth into sharp little daggers. One traveler even spoke of a cave painted entirely in red handprints. No one knows what it means, but the idea haunts you, like a trend waiting to be resurrected. In your satchel, woolly mammoth stomach, repurposed. You keep small treasures, a shiny pebble, a carved wooden comb, a bit of animal fat for smoothing flyaways. You even have a favorite rock for grinding pigment, which you guard like it's Chanel No. 5. Your younger sister watches as you get ready for the hunt, or maybe the fire circle gossip afterward. She mimics you, fumbles with beads, makes a mess of the charcoal. You try not to roll your eyes. You remember being her, trying to impress, wondering why beauty ever mattered when everyone smelled like smoked elk and foot fungus. The sky darkens. You throw a heavy pelt over your shoulders and smear one last stripe of ochre across your cheekbone. You step outside. Someone whistles. You smirk. It works. And tomorrow? You'll try something different. Maybe a twisted braid instead of bone clips. Maybe a new shell necklace if you can trade for one. Because even without language, without magazines or likes or filters, you've already learned the truth. Fashion is storytelling, and your story, told in fur and soot and stone, is just beginning. You squint against the sun as it blazes across the desert. The sand is hot under your sandals, and the linen clings to your back with the kind of determination that suggests you should have stayed in the shade. But you're not just anyone. You're an Egyptian woman in the time of the pharaohs. And you have places to be, gods to honor, and eyeliner to perfect. The mirror in your hand is polished bronze, slightly warped, but it does the trick. You hold it up and apply a thick line of kohl beneath your eye. It's not subtle. It's not meant to be. Your eyes are the first thing people see, and you want them to remember you long after they've looked away. Historians still argue whether the kohl served more as protection from the sun's glare or as a spiritual shield against evil spirits. Probably both. Practicality and vanity weren't enemies back then. They were best friends who shared cosmetics. You pause to dot a little green malachite above the lid, not because it's trendy, though it is, but because the temple priestess wore it yesterday and whispered it was the color of rebirth. You want to feel reborn, preferably before lunch. Your dress is a single piece of white linen, pleated and pinned at the shoulder. It billows with every step. It's simple, elegant, and surprisingly cool. The wealthy wear finer weave, some nearly transparent, scandalous, maybe. But in this heat, breathable fabric isn't just fashion, it's survival. Your skin is slathered in scented oils, frankincense, myrrh, and a touch of lotus. It's less about perfume and more about preservation. The dry air doesn't care how radiant you feel. It wants to turn you into a mummy before your time. So, you glisten slightly, glowing like some dewy influencer in 2000 BCE. A slave girl fans you lazily as you walk to the market. You're not thrilled about the social structure. You'd definitely be the eat the rich type in another life. But this is how things are, for now. You pretend not to hear the priest whispering that women should keep to the home. You've got errands, you've got opinions, and you've got the authority of Isis in your stride. Over in the weaving stalls, you eye a new sash dyed with indigo. It's expensive, but it makes your waist look divine. You trade 3 fish and a small carved amulet for it. The merchant tries to flirt. You adjust your headscarf and raise one eyebrow. He shrinks. The eyebrow arch is universal. Your hair is braided into dozens of tiny plaits, slicked with castor oil and held by golden beads. You overheard a rumor last week about a noblewoman who wore a wig made of someone else's hair, and not just any hair, but Nubian. Scandalous. Also, kind of chic. You stop by the temple. The gods, after all, invented beauty, or so the scrolls say. The priestess anoints your forehead with perfumed water. She compliments your eye makeup. You bask in the praise. Religion and aesthetics go hand in hand around here. The more divine you look, the more likely you are to be blessed, or at least complimented at the evening banquet. Back at home, you open your alabaster jars. One holds red ochre mixed with fat, your blush. Another contains crushed carmine beetles, vivid and rare. You press the red powder to your lips. No one's kissing anyone in public, but you still want your mouth to look important. Your daughter watches, wide-eyed. You hand her a broken mirror shard and guide her hand as she smudges the coal. She giggles. You pause, look at her little face smeared with bravery and pigment, and feel something ancient stir in you. Vanity? Maybe, but maybe it's something else. A memory from the Nile floats up. A woman standing waist deep in water, washing her face, her hair slicked back, the sun turning her skin to gold. She wasn't royal, she wasn't rich, but she looked powerful. And you remember thinking, even then, beauty isn't about wealth. It's about control, about claiming space, about standing in the heat and deciding exactly how much of yourself to reveal. The sun is sinking now. Your eyeliner hasn't smudged. Your skin still smells like myrrh. You sit near the window and fan yourself lazily. A cat brushes past your ankle. Somewhere beyond the reeds, the crocodiles are stirring. You smile. You're prettier than them. Tomorrow, maybe you'll try a new braid pattern. Maybe you'll press flowers into your sandals or hang a shell from your waist sash. Beauty doesn't stand still, even in a land where time feels eternal, and neither do you. The sun is gentler here, filtered through olive branches, softened by marble and myth. You stretch, freshly bathed, wrapped in a thin linen hymation that clings to your damp skin like a whisper. Greece, a world where beauty is a virtue, and virtue might just be the perfect nose. You step barefoot across cool tiles, the scent of olive oil and crushed rosemary lingering in the air. Your hair is still damp, coiled into spirals by yesterday's honey treatment. A messy concoction of beeswax, vinegar, and your cousin's terrible advice. Historians still argue whether the Greeks truly idolized golden curls, or if Homer just had a thing for blondes. But either way, you've been trying to coax your dark waves into sunlit perfection since last spring. A bronze mirror leans against the wall, not perfectly reflective, but you make do. You tilt your head, trying to decide if your curls fall with enough casual precision. You adjust a strand, then drape your hymation just off the shoulder, like you're headed to a symposium, even if you're only visiting your aunt. Fashion, after all, is as much about intention as destination. Greek clothing isn't stitched, just wrapped, pinned, and hoped for the best. A careless breeze could turn you into local gossip, so you master the art of the subtle tuck. Your hymation is off-white today, but you envy your wealthier friend's saffron-dyed chitons. That color? Imported, expensive, and subtle as a parade. Still, you have your tricks. A twist at the waist, a sprig of thyme tucked into your braid, a little crushed charcoal at the lash line. Though you tell your mother it's just for protection from glare. She doesn't believe you. You walk past a marble statue of Athena and offer a nod. The goddess of wisdom and war also happens to have perfect posture and cheekbones. Coincidence? Unlikely. At the Agora, you admire others while pretending not to. One woman wears sandals laced nearly to the knee. Another has dyed her tunic a strange shade of plum, fashion forward or just an accident with berries. You make a mental note either way. A philosopher speaks on the corner, loud, shirtless, covered in dust. You sidestep him. He's arguing about ideals, forms, essence, the true nature of beauty. You glance at his cracked toenails and think, if beauty is truth, someone should get this man a bath. But his words linger. What is beauty? In Athens, it's more than surface. It's symmetry, harmony, kalos. The sculptors know. Every statue carved with divine proportion, every temple built with perfect balance. You wonder if they see women the same way. Ideals, frozen in stone, untouchable. Later, you lounge at a gathering where women actually get to speak. It's rare, and you savor it. You discuss hair oils, poetry, politics. One woman shares a recipe for rose petal face balm that her grandmother swears by. Another reveals she's been whitening her teeth with crushed pumice. A little disturbing, but her smile does sparkle. Historians still debate whether women in ancient Greece had as much access to cosmetics in public life as men claimed. Some say the Hetairae, elite courtesans, set trends with their bold makeup and clever speech. Others argue most women remained in the shadows of domesticity. You live somewhere in between, not cloistered, not free, but fashionable, undeniably. You return home as the sky turns coral. You wipe the day's dust from your arms and rebraid your hair. Your sister helps pin your hymation for bed, not because you need it, but because routines matter. You hum a melody you heard at the bathhouse. Your feet are sore, your soul a little lighter. Beauty in Greece isn't about paint. It's about shape, movement, essence. You are taught to walk like a poem and speak like a lyre. Whether or not you succeed, well, no one's perfect, except, maybe, Aphrodite. But rumor has it she still uses rose water. You're sitting upright, spine ramrod straight, because reclining would crush your hairstyle, and that's already taken 2 hours and 3 hairpins to secure. Welcome to Rome. Your hair is not a feature, it's an architectural achievement. And your stylist slash enslaved hairdresser slash long-suffering friend is muttering Latin under her breath as she coils the last braid into position. Roman beauty is serious business. The empire might be conquering half the known world, but your battlefield is the boudoir. And today, you're winning. You smooth the folds of your stola, an elegant draped garment that signals respectability, wealth, and the fact that you are, in fact, properly married. Unmarried women wear the tunica. Scandalous types go without anything layered. You're somewhere in the comfortable upper middle, decorum intact, fashion forward. The stola is belted just under the bust with a long, trailing band called a zona, and you've tied it so the fabric drapes exactly as planned, effortlessly graceful, but not so loose you look lazy. The fabric is linen with a saffron tint, dyed with imported crocus. Extravagant. But your husband got a bonus from the Senate. You deserve this. A dab of rouge from crushed red ochre stains your cheeks. Not too much. Roman men dislike painted women, at least in theory. But Roman women, they know better. You've seen senators' wives sneak into apothecaries asking for the good stuff. Lead-based face whitener, imported coal, and even crocodile dung sunscreen. Yes, really. Historians still argue whether it was purely cosmetic, or if people genuinely believe dung protected the skin. Either way, it stank. You glance at your reflection in a silver mirror. Not perfect, but good enough. You adjust a single curl, then reach for your jewelry, gold bracelets, amber beads, and your favorite fibula brooch shaped like a lion. It's heavy, impractical, and makes you feel invincible. Your feet slip into delicate leather sandals. The streets outside are a chaotic mix of marble, mud, and mystery puddles, but sandals are non-negotiable. Beauty isn't about comfort. It's about being the kind of woman who turns heads at the forum and walks away without tripping over her hem. At the market, you pass a perfume stall. The seller hands you a tiny vial of rose oil infused with cinnamon. You dab it behind your ears and catch your reflection in a passing shield. Glowing. Fierce. almost divine. You join your friends at the public baths, where conversation flows with the steam. The women lounge, naked but not exposed. One shares a tip about crushing pearls for teeth whitening. Another describes a new hair bleaching technique involving goat urine and sunlight. You all wince, then collectively agree to let the slaves try it first. There's gossip, too. Of course, a senator's daughter shaved her eyebrows completely and painted new ones higher up. To look more surprised, someone whispers. You're horrified, and a little tempted. One of the bathhouse attendants offers you a pumice stone to exfoliate your feet. You thank her, then glance down. You haven't shaved your legs since Saturnalia. Who has time? The men certainly don't. Besides, hair removal in Rome means resin, tweezers, or melted beeswax, and a prayer. You'll deal with it next week. Back home, you prepare for dinner. A reclining meal, which means the left side of your face matters more. It'll be the one facing your host. You add a final touch of eyeshadow, charcoal and saffron blended just enough to smolder. Not too much. Just a suggestion. You lie down on a triclinium couch, adjusting your elbow to show off your bracelet. The wine flows. The conversation turns to poetry. Someone quotes Catullus. Someone else flirts shamelessly. You sip slowly, laughing when appropriate, making mental notes to borrow that woman's draping technique next time. Historians still debate how much Roman women shaped their own beauty standards versus inheriting them from Greek ideals. But you know one thing for sure. Rome has taken beauty and turned it into a civic virtue. You're not just beautiful. You're participating in the glory of the empire, with a flawless part and strategically rouged cheeks. The oil lamp flickers as the meal ends. Your head aches from the weight of your hair. You slip off your sandals and wash your face with honey and milk, soft, sticky, fragrant. Tomorrow, you'll start again. But for now, you're proud. You are well draped, well pinned, and well aware that even in a world of emperors and legions, a single woman in a gold fibula can command attention just by walking into the room. The air is thick with wood smoke and something less charming, damp wool, unwashed skin, and the faint tang of garlic. You pull your wimple tighter under your chin. Welcome to the Middle Ages, where modesty is fashion, cleanliness is suspect, and your beauty routine includes a surprisingly aggressive amount of vinegar. You stand in the dim light of your cottage, layering garments like you're trying to ward off both sin and frostbite. First, the chemise, plain linen, always itchy, then a kirtle, then a surcoat, and if you're lucky, a mantle over it all. You weigh about 5 pounds heavier when fully dressed, and none of it is tailored. Medieval silhouettes aren't designed to flatter so much as one obscure. Still, you have your flourishes. Your girdle is embroidered with red thread, a little personal flair stitched between hours of mending and praying. You tie it with a practiced hand. The belt hangs long and loose. Symbolic? Practical? Historians still argue whether it's fashion, flirtation, or just a convenient place to hang your keys. Your face, mostly hidden, is pale. That's good. Pale means noble. You haven't toiled in the fields, not directly. Sun-darkened skin is for peasants and pilgrims. You dab a mix of powdered lead and egg whites to even out your complexion. Dangerous? Absolutely. But no one talks about that. Well, not out loud. For color, you chew on orris root to redden your lips and rub crushed strawberries into your cheeks. Sometimes you rinse with garlic water. You hate it, but the apothecary swears it wards off illness and makes your skin glow. beauty and plague prevention in one. Who can argue with that? Your hair is hidden beneath layers of cloth, coif, veil, wimple. If you're unmarried, maybe a braided crown with ribbons, visible, but demure. Married, wrap it up. No one needs to see your seductive scalp. Unless you're nobility. Then, maybe a little golden netting, just to show off. Outside, the streets are mud and mystery. You lift your skirts just enough to avoid the worst of it. Your shoes are leather, thin-soled, hopeless against puddles. You step carefully, watching for both sin and sewage. You pass a merchant's wife wearing bright blue wool. Woad dye. Expensive. You raise an eyebrow, and she raises hers. There's a silent competition in that glance. Whose veil is whiter? Whose hands are softer? Who managed to smell less like goat this week? Inside the church, candles flicker over stone walls. You lower your eyes. Modesty. Always. But you also sneak a glance at the bishop's mistress. Her veil is scandalously sheer. You make a mental note to ask your friend the laundress how she bleaches hers so bright. Later, at the village feast, you sit quietly, straight-backed. Laughing too loudly is frowned upon. You smile, demurely. A traveling bard sings about a lady's beauty likened to a rose hidden under frost. You pretend not to blush. You definitely blush. In the candlelight, you notice a girl across the room with faintly reddened cheeks and a sprig of rosemary tucked behind her ear. She catches your eye, smiles shyly, and you nod. There's a quiet solidarity in these small efforts. Historians still debate how much autonomy medieval women had over their appearance. Some argue beauty was dictated entirely by the church and male-dominated society. Others point to women's creative use of herbs, cloth, and symbolism as subtle rebellion. You prefer the second version. You choose the embroidery. You choose the veil's color. You choose to spend half your week steeping dried mint just for that elusive glow. Night falls. You return home, remove each layer with practiced exhaustion, and scrub your face with vinegar and rosemary water. It stings. And you wonder, not for the first time, if garlic breath is really necessary for beauty. You light a small lamp, stroke your cat, and rub honey into your chapped hands. Your world is cold, hard, and unforgiving, but you've carved out your own rituals, your own rules. And even under wool and modesty, beauty survives. Even here, you hold your breath as your maid pulls the laces tighter. One hand grips the bedpost, the other clutches a wooden fan, fluttering more out of desperation than style. Welcome to the Renaissance, where art flourishes, knowledge expands, and your corset is trying to realign your internal organs. You're dressed like a canvas in progress. First, the chemise, loose and soft, though it won't be seen. Then come the layers, the farthingale, the petticoat, and finally, the gown. Your dress is made of heavy damask, deep burgundy, embroidered with golden thread. You look like a walking cathedral, and you weigh almost as much. You glance in the mirror, glass, rare and slightly warped. Your skin is smooth and ghostly pale, thanks to your new favorite product, Venetian ceruse. A lead-based white paint mixed with vinegar, spread thick over face, neck, and décolletage. Historians still argue whether women understood the dangers of ceruse, or if they simply accepted its slow poison as the price of beauty. Either way, your cheeks are flushed not with health, but with a blend of red ochre and crushed beetles. Lovely. You draw a black line just above your lashes using burnt cork. You pluck your eyebrows into thin arches, preferably high and expressive. There's even talk of shaving the hairline to create a larger, more intellectual forehead. You tried that once. The regrowth was regrettable. The scent of lavender water clings to your sleeves. You dab a bit behind your ears, then smooth rose oil into your hair, which has been braided and pinned beneath a velvet hood. You're considering switching to lemon juice rinses. Your friend claims it makes the hair shine like silk. She also fainted at court last week from breathing too many perfume fumes, so you're taking her advice with caution. Outside, the city teems with new ideas. Art spills from chapels, music dances from balconies, and beauty. Oh, beauty is practically a profession. Courtiers compete with painters and poets for attention. Your reflection is both your resume and your social currency. You walk through the courtyard with a practiced glide, each step careful, toe first. Your shoes are velvet with ribbon ties, utterly impractical on cobblestones. But beauty isn't about practicality, it's about transcendence. You are elegance wrapped in discomfort, and everyone knows at court, you're surrounded by other women equally constrained and equally radiant. One wears a gown dyed with imported indigo, a sign of obscene wealth. Another has pearls sewn directly into her sleeves. You offer compliments and receive them, but every glance is a calculation. Whose lace is finer? Whose ruff stands taller? Whose face looks less alive? You smile at a nobleman as he passes. He bows. You bend your neck slightly, just enough to show off the tiny pendant nestled at your throat. It's a miniature portrait of yourself, painted last week. You like the artist's version better, less wrinkles. Dinner is a spectacle. You eat sparingly, knowing too much food ruins the silhouette. The corset discourages indulgence anyway. You sip wine, laugh lightly, and avoid turning too far to the left. You've discovered your profile is best from the right. In a quiet moment, you overhear two scholars debating the nature of ideal proportion. They speak of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, of perfect symmetry, of geometry embedded in the body. You wonder, briefly, if there's a similar drawing for women, if someone has tried to map you into a diagram of ideal curves and divine ratios. You suspect someone has? Back at home, your maid helps you disrobe. She gently wipes the ceruse from your face with milk and linen. The makeup comes off in smears, white, red, black. Beneath it, your skin is tired, or your ribs ache. Your feet are swollen. But you also feel, oddly, accomplished. You wore the art. You were the art. And tomorrow, you'll do it again. Historians still debate whether Renaissance women were oppressed by fashion or empowered by it. Perhaps both. You lived within the lines of strict aesthetic expectations. But you also wielded beauty like a brush. You painted your presence into the room. As you lay back in bed, your hair unpinned and your corset abandoned on the floor like a fallen knight, you sigh. Tomorrow, you'll try a new rouge shade. Perhaps attempt that daring French cut sleeve. But for now, you're just you, barefaced, exhausted, and strangely proud. The art of beauty never rests. You tilt your head so the wig doesn't fall off. Again, it's early in the morning, and you're already balancing what feels like a small sculpture on your skull. Welcome to the Baroque period, where fashion is theatrical, status is vertical, and your hair has a higher social rank than most of your neighbors. This isn't a casual chignon. This is a powdered, perfumed, teased to the heavens tower of silk, horsehair, and human ambition. You sit motionless while your maid inserts one last porcelain flower. You're aiming for coquettish peony, but teeter dangerously close to floral thunderstorm. You dab your face with white powder made from, you guessed it, lead again. They say it gives your skin the same finish as a marble statue. Statues don't sweat or age or gossip, which is probably why everyone's trying to look like one. Then comes the rouge, swirled high on your cheeks like a bashful doll. Your lips are painted in a precise heart shape with carmine red. It takes forever, and you still smudge it when you sneeze. You examine yourself in the mirror. One side of your beauty patch, a tiny velvet heart today, has shifted. You fix it quickly. These little face stickers aren't just decorative. They're code. A patch near your right eye says you're married and mysterious. On your left cheek, flirtatious and possibly available. The beauty spot at the corner of your mouth, bold, possibly scandalous. Historians still argue, whether these patches were playful fashion or subtle social language. Either way, you've got a pouch full of shapes, and you're not afraid to use them. Your gown is an event unto itself, layers upon layers of taffeta, brocade, and lace. The bodice is tighter than your patience. The skirt is so wide it needs a radius. Walking through doorways is a geometry problem. Sitting is discouraged. Breathing is negotiable. You glide down the staircase like a galleon in full sail, skirts rustling, satin shimmering. You leave a faint trail of rosewater, ambergris, and stale wig powder. Everyone can smell you before they see you. That's the goal. At the salon, you join a room of equally decorated women, all holding tiny porcelain teacups and enormous opinions. Gossip flows faster than wine. A duchess arrives with a wig shaped like a ship, complete with sails. You pretend to be unimpressed while mentally sketching your own design, perhaps a powdered fortress with doves. Conversation turns to beauty secrets. One woman uses pigeon droppings to soften her skin. Another recommends distilled snails. You try not to gag. Still, you note it down. One never knows what'll catch on next season. Outside, the world is changing. Science is advancing. Revolutions simmer beneath velvet breeches. But inside these candlelit chambers, time slows. Beauty reigns. And wigs get taller. A servant whispers that your portrait is nearly finished. You rush home, careful not to jostle your hairstyle. The painter greets you with a bow. You pose, chin high, shoulders back, expression, bored but alluring. You hold the pose for hours, legs numb, nose itching. Still, the result, timeless. Later, alone at your vanity, you remove the powder with warm milk and linen cloth. Beneath the makeup, your skin is raw, pale, a little tired. Your hair, real hair, is limp and forgotten beneath the wig cap. You sigh, but you also smile, because you remember the glance someone gave you earlier, the subtle nod, the whispered enchanting as you passed. Was it sincere? Who knows? But you felt like a queen. Historians still debate whether the Baroque era's extreme beauty standards were self-expression or oppressive artifice. But as you soak your feet and remove your earrings, you know the truth. For a few shimmering hours, you weren't just in costume. You were spectacle. You were performance. You were beauty. You slip into a linen nightdress, far simpler than your day's costume, and stretch your aching back. Outside, someone's still playing the harpsichord. You smile. Tomorrow, perhaps a crescent-shaped beauty patch, or powdered lilac hair. You'll decide at sunrise. After all, when your look is this elaborate, the morning is your canvas. You shuffle sideways through the doorway like a well-dressed crab. Your skirt is so wide it knocks over a vase. Your powdered wig nearly grazes the chandelier, and your perfume arrives a full 2 seconds before you do. Welcome to the Rococo era, where elegance is maximal, femininity is flamboyant, and you're one fainting couch away from full theatrical collapse. You've just finished dressing, if you can call it that. It was more of a construction project. Underneath your gown is a hidden scaffolding of panniers, corsets, and enough petticoats to cushion a fall from the second floor. Your waist is cinched to almost nothing. Breathing is optional. Looking fabulous is not. Today's color palette? Strawberry cream and pistachio silk. The gown is trimmed with lace so delicate you're afraid to sneeze. Ribbons, so many ribbons, trail from your sleeves, your neckline, and even your shoes. Historians still debate whether Rococo fashion was satire or sincerity, but you don't care. You feel like a pastry, and that's the entire point. You sit carefully on a velvet stool and let your maid touch up your face. The white powder returns, thick as ever. Rouge is applied in circles so perfect you resemble a porcelain doll. Your lips are painted with a tiny brush into a rosebud, dainty, controlled, cartoonishly artificial. But the eyebrows? Gone. Shaved clean off weeks ago. You've replaced them with thin lines drawn high on your forehead. Why? So, you look constantly surprised, amused, and a little unreachable, just like royalty. Your cousin, of course, went one step further and used mouse fur to create new brows. It works. If you don't stand too close, your hair towers in pastel waves, powdered pale blue and adorned with miniature garden scenes. Yes, actual model trees, birds, and a swing made from silk thread. You overheard someone say, Marie Antoinette wore a replica of a naval battle on her head once. Naturally, you want to top that. You spritz yourself with orange blossom water, step into your heels, and clack toward the garden for the morning promenade. You can't walk quickly, your shoes are more idea than function, but you glide, and everyone notices. That's the point. In the garden, other women gather in a blur of sherbet shades, peach, mint, lavender, lemon. You feel like you're strolling through a dessert tray. Fans flutter. Laughter rings out like music boxes. One woman drops her glove on purpose, and 5 powdered admirers scramble to return it. You don't need to drop anything. You simply look, and the world adjusts. You sit under a parasol and sip tea laced with rose petals. Someone compliments your satin bows. You return the favor by admiring their pearl-studded stomacher. It's all polite performance, half sincerity, half dueling wits. But underneath the pleasantries, you know this is a world of coded ambition, a glance, a flutter, a perfectly timed giggle. These are your weapons. You discuss the latest gossip. Who blushed at which ball? Who's been caught without her powder? Who might secretly be using cheap rouge imported from Germany? Scandalous. You pretend to faint from shock, then recover just in time for compliments on your resilience. As the sun dips lower, you retreat inside. Your feet ache. Your cheeks are stiff from smiling. The wig itches. But you've made your entrance, captured the whispers, and basked in admiration. Mission accomplished. Back in your chambers, the transformation reverses. The dress is unhooked. The panniers dropped. The corset, finally, loosened. You can breathe. Sort of. Your maid wipes off the powder with a cloth soaked in milk and lemon. It stings. Your skin, beneath it all, is dry and patchy. You look human, almost disappointingly so. You stare into the mirror, not with regret, but curiosity. Where does you end and beauty begin? Somewhere between the bows and the blush, perhaps. Historians still argue whether Rococo fashion empowered women or reduced them to ornaments, but for a few glowing hours, you felt divine. Artificial? Absolutely, but also powerful. You light a candle. Its soft glow flickers across your reflection. You run fingers through your unpowdered hair. It's thin, flat, too honest, but you smile anyway. Tomorrow, a new ribbon, a new scent, maybe even a new eyebrow. After all, the beauty of the Rococo isn't just that it sparkles. It never apologizes for doing so. You inhale slowly, then exhale through gritted teeth as the corset pulls tighter. Again, you've already broken one rib this season. What's one more? Welcome to the Victorian era, where modesty is queen, beauty is restraint, and your waist measurement is more discussed than your opinions. You're laced up so tight you could probably whistle through your collarbone, but you don't complain. You just sip a bit of weak tea and pretend you're fine. After all, fainting gracefully is half the fashion game. Today you're wearing a walking dress in dark green wool with black velvet trim, respectable, structured, and entirely weather inappropriate. It's the middle of summer. You're sweating through 3 layers of chemise, corset, petticoat, crinoline, and overskirt. Somewhere underneath all that, your actual body exists, though you haven't seen it uncompressed in years. Your silhouette is shaped by a cage of steel and starch. The crinoline bellows out like a miniature tent. You bump into chairs, doorways, and sometimes people. You've learned to pretend you meant to. Elegance is all about commitment. You glance into the tall mirror by the window. Your skin is pale, very pale, thanks to your daily application of rice powder. Sun exposure is for the lower classes. You wear gloves outside, a bonnet wide enough to shade a picnic, and sometimes even a tiny parasol that serves no purpose but to say, "I do not sweat." Your eyebrows are delicately arched and lightly darkened with charcoal. Your lips? Untouched. Paint is for actresses and fallen women, but a touch of beet juice dabbed onto your cheeks? Acceptable. Just don't get caught. You smooth your hair, parted severely down the center, coiled into braids, and pinned so tightly you can't turn your head without risk of snapping something. Your maid murmurs that Queen Victoria has begun favoring center-parted buns again. You nod. She knows what she's doing. At breakfast, you nibble toast, dry, and sip tea while balancing etiquette manuals and a strict schedule. There are social calls to make, charities to endorse, and approximately 12 new rules of polite behavior to memorize. Beauty is moral in this age. A neat appearance is a sign of discipline. You are neat. You are extremely disciplined. You haven't sighed in public in months. You meet your friend for a walk, more of a shuffle, really, along the promenade. Her waist is 1 inch smaller than yours. You hate her, lovingly. She, in turn, envies your complexion, which she claims is ethereal. You both know you've been sleeping upright to avoid pillow creases on your cheeks. There's a new fad. Belladonna drops in the eyes to make the pupils dilate, gives a dreamy, romantic gaze, they say. Also causes blurred vision and potential blindness. But what's love without a little risk? Historians still argue whether Victorian women were victims of fashion or its masters. Some claim the corset was a patriarchal device. Others argue women shaped trends to display status, identity, and power in coded ways. You just want to sit down without losing consciousness. At the sewing circle, conversation is subdued but coded. Someone whispers about a duchess who dared to show her ankles while mounting a carriage. Scandal. Another mentions a neighbor who wears rouge, real rouge, when her husband travels. You all gasp, then secretly wonder where she got it. Evening brings the big reveal, your evening gown. Off the shoulder, corseted even tighter, jet beads stitched onto velvet. You glide down the staircase, breath shallow, spine straight. Your beauty is a monument, controlled, imposing, impeccable. At the ball, you don't dance too often, not because you can't, but because your gown has a bustle the size of a sofa. Turning quickly would be dangerous. You sip punch and give small, knowing smiles. You are mysterious. You are unreadable. You are extremely uncomfortable. Back home, the ritual of undoing begins. Buttons, hooks, laces. Your maid gently unfastens you like she's disarming a bomb. You gasp as the corset comes off, ribs expanding like a freed bird's wings. You sit for a moment, stunned by how light your own body feels. You run a hand over your stomach. It's red, lined, sore, but it's yours, even if you only get to see it at night. You light a lamp. Its warm glow softens the edges of your reflection. You touch your cheek, smearing away the beet juice blush. You smile, just a little. There's strength in this quiet moment. Tomorrow, you'll start again, crinoline, corset, gloves, parasol. But tonight, your body breathes, and beneath the starch and silence, you know this. Beauty in this era might be rigid, but your spirit is anything but. Your spine curves gently into an S shape as you admire yourself in the mirror, not from slouching. No, this is deliberate. It's 1905, and your corset doesn't just nip your waist, it reshapes your entire posture. Welcome to the Edwardian era, where beauty is a swan neck, a tilted bust, and the art of looking like you're permanently mid-waltz with gravity. The S-bend corset is the latest must-have, unlike the Victorian hourglass, which merely squeezed. This one tilts. Your torso is pushed forward on cure, your hips back. It's elegant, feminine, and absolutely disastrous for your lower back. You walk like a question mark and wonder why your chiropractor hasn't been born yet. Your dress today is a dream, flowing white muslin with delicate lace, high collar, and billowing sleeves. You call it a lingerie dress, even though you wear 5 layers underneath it. Fashion names are rarely literal. The Edwardians love layers, petticoats, slips, chemises, and all of it must be pristine. You've spent half your life learning how to keep white without bleach. Your hair is a puffed halo, swept up into a Gibson girl pompadour. You used rats, hair cushions, not the rodents, to achieve the volume. Historians still argue whether Charles Dana Gibson's iconic sketches influenced real women or just captured a trend already happening. Either way, you now spend an hour every morning stuffing and sculpting your hair like it's a wedding cake. Your makeup is subtle. The bare-faced look is in fashion, especially for respectable women. But subtle doesn't mean absent. You dust your face with rice powder, tint your lips with a petal pink salve, and pinch your cheeks gently for that just came from a brisk walk on the moors flush. Rouge is scandalous, unless, of course, you're French, or pretending to be. You step into your button-up ankle boots, adjust your gloves, and secure your hat with 2 terrifyingly long hat pins. One wrong jab and you're giving yourself an impromptu lobotomy. You head outside, skirt swishing, parasol angled just so. The streets bustle with trolley bells and horse hooves. You glide, neck high, eyes distant, pretending you don't notice the world noticing you. You meet your friends for tea at a smart hotel. Everyone looks like they walked out of a sepia photograph. One woman brags about her new raincoat made from rubberized cloth. Another whispers that corsets are being redesigned for health. You all nod politely, but no one's giving up their silhouette anytime soon. The suffragettes march past the window. You watch them, heart fluttering. Some are dressed plainly, others smartly. Elegance and protest, hand in hand. You admire their courage, even if you haven't joined yet. Your mother would faint. Your grandmother already did. At the mention of bloomers, there's talk of bicycles, automobiles, and something called a moving picture. The world is quickening, changing its posture, but beauty still rules. Magazines advise you to sleep with gloves on and wear a ribbon around your neck to prevent wrinkles. One column suggests never smiling too widely. Excessive mirth ages the face. You laugh anyway. Quietly. At the department store. You explore the cosmetics counter. There's a new product, a tinted cream that promises to smooth the skin and evoke the freshness of a morning lily. It smells like lemons and lies. You buy it instantly. Back home, you sit at your vanity, brushing your hair the prescribed 100 strokes. It's less about health, more about ritual. You feel the tension ease as the day melts away. You remove your corset, your chemise, your sense of societal obligation, one layer at a time. You look in the mirror again. Without the puffed hair and high collar, your face seems softer, less posed. You touch your cheek. It's warm from the brush strokes, pink from pinching, alive from being seen. Historians still debate whether the Edwardian beauty ideal was more natural than previous eras, or simply another form of carefully controlled femininity. You think it's both. You are a sculpture today, but you chiseled yourself. You stretch, bones crackling, and slip into a silk dressing gown. It feels like rebellion, comfortable, free. You hum a tune you heard on the gramophone earlier, and wonder what the world will look like in 20 years. Maybe corsets will vanish. Maybe hats will shrink. Maybe, just maybe, you won't have to choose between being elegant and being heard. But for now, you sleep with your spine gently curled, your soul upright. You tap your foot to the rhythm of a Charleston drifting from a gramophone as you swipe one last streak of crimson across your lips. The mirror reflects a different you, short hair, shorter hemline, and an entirely new attitude. Welcome to the 1920s, the flapper era, where beauty is bold, boundaries are blurred, and your grandmother would definitely disapprove. Your dress sparkles under the dim light, beads, fringe, and scandal. It's sleeveless, knee-length, and it moves with you when you when you walk, it sways. When you dance, it flirts. Gone are the corsets and high collars. You've traded them for freedom, and maybe a bit of rebellion. Historians still argue whether flapper fashion was liberation or simply another form of conformity. But you're too busy applying mascara with a tiny spoon-shaped brush to care. Your hair is bobbed, freshly shingled at the nape, and slicked into soft waves with a generous helping of pomade. You remember the first time you cut it, your mother wept, your aunt gasped, and you felt, for the first time, like you owned your reflection. The brows are pencil thin, your eyes rimmed with kohl, not to seduce, necessarily, though you don't mind if they think that, but to define yourself. Dark eyes, red lips, pale powdered skin. You're a walking exclamation point in a world that used to insist on ellipses. You head to the speakeasy, your heels tapping across wet pavement. Your dress is paired with a fur stole, more for flair than warmth, and a cloche hat that hugs your head like a secret. In your purse, a flask, a lipstick, and a dance card you pretend to update but rarely do. You dance with who you want, or no one at all. Inside, it's smoky and pulsing. The jazz is wild, the gin questionable, and the women unforgettable. One girl's wearing a bright green dress with silver sequins that catch the light like fish scales. Another has plucked her eyebrows clean and painted them back with a flourish. Everyone smells like lavender, leather, and maybe mischief. You lean against the bar and order something sweet and illegal. The barman winks. You sip, smile, and pretend you didn't see the police badge under his coat. A man asks if you want to dance. You glance at your shoes, the time, the drink. Then you say yes, because you want to, not because it's polite. This is new. Saying yes, on your terms. You don't wear a corset. You don't faint. You don't walk like you're balancing books on your head. You slouch a little, because you can. You cross your legs at the knee. You laugh with your mouth open. It's wild. And it's beautiful. Later that night, you and your friends walk home barefoot, heels dangling from your fingers. You share a cigarette and a secret or two. You talk about politics, about art, about birth control in books, and which actress has the best bob. You're not supposed to care about these things, but you do, and so do they. Back in your apartment, you unpin what's left of your hair waves and wipe your face clean with cold cream. Your skin thanks you. You examine yourself again. No wig, no paint, just you. There's something satisfying about both faces, the glammed-up night owl and the quiet woman brushing her teeth in a slip. Historians still debate how much agency flappers really had. Were you trendsetters or puppets of consumerism? Liberated or labeled? You figure it's a little of both. You bought the lipstick, but you chose how to wear it. You crawl into bed, legs still tingling from hours of dancing, hair smelling faintly of gin and perfume. Tomorrow, you might wear trousers, or a turban, or nothing special at all, and that will be its own kind of rebellion, because tonight, you didn't dress to be seen. You dressed to be yourself, and that's the best kind of beauty. You roll up your sleeves with red painted nails and adjust your scarf like it's a crown. Your reflection stares back from the factory locker room mirror, grease-slicked, tired, and somehow more determined than ever. Welcome to the 1940s, where beauty stands tall in utility boots and lipstick is classified as a morale booster. You button up your coveralls, cinched at the waist, not for fashion, but because baggy fabric near heavy machinery is dangerous. Still, you found a way to shape it. A belt here, a rolled cuff there. Functional doesn't mean unfeminine, though you've stopped caring what feminine even means when you're welding metal before breakfast. Your hair is pinned back in victory rolls, wrapped tightly under a patterned bandana. It's not just cute. It keeps the curls out of your face while you operate equipment that could shear your fingers off. That said, you do make sure the curls are perfect before you leave the house. Always. It's habit now. You reapply your red lipstick in the break room with 3 other women, each of you using a different compact but the same determined swipe. Red lips aren't frivolous. They're war paint. Even the government says so. Propaganda posters show smiling women on assembly lines, lips bold, brows arched. Beauty is your duty, the tagline says. It's both ridiculous and effective. Historians still argue whether this wartime beauty culture empowered women or simply repackaged obedience. Was lipstick patriotism or just packaging? Either way, you swipe on another layer and walk taller, because out there, in the factory, you're building bombers, and you're doing it beautifully. On the job, you learn to rivet, to lift, to solve problems. Your fingers are calloused now, your posture stronger. Your perfume smells faintly of engine oil, and somehow you're okay with that. At lunch, someone jokes about smudged eyeliner and how it always makes you look like you've been crying. You all laugh because it's true. In the evenings, you peel off your coveralls and slide into a skirt for a dance. Heels feel strange now. Your calves ache, your back's sore, but the music is swing and you've learned to move with it. You pin your curls just right, press your lashes upward, and wonder how long this balancing act can last. You spot soldiers home on leave. Their eyes go first to your face, your smile, your silhouette, but then they see your hands. Strong, dirty at the edges, hands that build planes. You catch one staring, not in confusion, but in awe. You smile wider. Your beauty routine is compact now. Pond's cold cream, 1 bar of lavender soap, red lipstick, always, a tin of bobby pins, and a small bottle of scent that reminds you of spring, because the world is so full of noise and metal that you need the memory of flowers now and then. Your sister sends letters from overseas. She's a nurse. She says she braids her hair every morning and still wears powder, even when surrounded by chaos. It's not vanity, she says. It's armor. At home, you ration everything but your standards. You darn your stockings, draw seams down the backs of your legs with eyeliner, and repurpose your husband's old shirts into blouses. Fashion is invention now. Survival with style. Some days, you don't feel beautiful. You feel tired, grimy, overwhelmed. But you look in the mirror and see a face that didn't flinch, a spine that didn't bend, a lipstick line that didn't smudge even when the world did. Historians still debate whether women truly found themselves during the war, or if the post-war world simply stuffed them back into domestic roles. You don't know what the future holds, but tonight, as you comb pomade into your curls and hum along to Ella Fitzgerald on the radio, you feel strong, capable, glamorous, even. You slip under the covers, mascara smudged, arms aching. Tomorrow there will be more rivets, more rations, more resilience, and always a swipe of red before the day begins. You wake up early, curlers tight and uncomfortable under your satin sleep bonnet. You don't question it. You're a woman in the 1950s, and this is what mornings are for, getting ready to be seen, not by strangers, by your husband, your neighbors, the milkman, God, everyone. You slip on your robe, pastel with piping, and pad into the kitchen in house slippers that match. Even your loungewear has a look. The coffee brews, the sun rises, and your curlers steam gently under the pressure of perfection. After breakfast, you serve it, of course. You finally begin your real routine, cold cream off, a splash of ice water to tighten the pores. You've read this in every magazine. Then powder, pink cream rouge, patted high on the cheeks, matching lipstick in the classic teardrop shape. Brows are defined but feminine, eyes clean except for a flick of liner. It's not about being bold, it's about being presentable. You wear a girdle, of course, the holy grail of curves. It smooths everything, except your breathing. You pull on a floral dress with a cinched waist and a full skirt. It's cheery, domestic, pre-approved by a glossy layout and good housekeeping. You look like the perfect advertisement for dish soap. Your hair, once out of curlers, forms obedient waves. You spray it into a helmet. You could survive a wind tunnel in this hairstyle. That's part of the appeal. Today's tasks: vacuuming in heels, grocery shopping in gloves, and making sure the casserole's ready by 5. There's time for errands, of course, but you wouldn't dream of going out without lipstick. Your mother once said, "A lady leaves the house with a clean handkerchief and a clean face." You always do one of those. The women around you are glossy, polished, and constantly evaluating one another. There's competition, but it's veiled with compliments. That color looks so fresh on you. You make ironing look glamorous. Even your apron has ruffles. Historians still argue whether the 1950s were a golden age of femininity or a golden cage. Were the beauty standards comforting structure or suffocating expectation? You think it depends on the day. Some mornings, the red lipstick feels like armor. Other days, it feels like a muzzle. At the grocery store, every woman looks like she stepped out of a magazine. Full faces of makeup, structured handbags, matching pumps. You reach for a head of lettuce and notice someone else's nails. Perfect. Yours are chipped. You flush with silent shame. Later, you'll fix that. Your beauty products are modest but sacred. Pond's cold cream, always. A rose-scented compact. A tube of mascara that you spit into when it dries out. Your vanity drawer is lined with paper and the soft scent of talc. You keep your pins organized by type. In the evening, you freshen up before your husband comes home. You spritz on perfume, powder your nose, and reapply your lipstick. You're supposed to greet him looking rested and radiant. Never mind that you've been on your feet for 9 hours, organizing a sock drawer and mediating a neighborhood drama about hedges. You sit through dinner poised, posture perfect. Afterward, once he dozes off in front of the television, you retreat to the bathroom to remove your mask. Cold cream again, long strokes, wipe, rinse. You stare at yourself in the mirror, barefaced, bone-tired, but still. You unhook the girdle, step out of your heels, peel off the day. You exhale. Your body expands slightly, not from indulgence, from relief. Historians often portray the 1950s as all surface and smile, but beneath the surface were real women, crafting beauty from obligation and creativity both. You sometimes envy the future, imagine sleeping in, wearing pants, not needing permission to leave the lipstick off. But here, now, you find your own version of beauty. Not in the pages of Ladies' Home Journal, but in your quiet rebellion, your secret chipped nail, your moment alone at midnight with a book and no bra. You slip into your nightgown, brush your hair 100 strokes like your mother taught you, and smooth a little lotion on your hands. Not because someone will see them, because they're yours. You tug at your miniskirt and check your lashes one last time in the rearview mirror. They're huge, painted on like spider legs, and absolutely perfect. Welcome to the 1960s, where beauty swings with the beat. Rebellion comes in eyeliner form, and the old rules are cracking like yesterday's hairspray shell. Today, you're dressed to shock your mother, not intentionally, of course, but if she faints from the hemline again, you'll know you've done something right. Your dress is a mod masterpiece. Geometric prints, bold colors, barely covering your thighs. It zips up the back with that satisfying zip and instantly transforms you into someone more interesting. You pair it with white go-go boots and a wide headband that matches your earrings. Jewelry doesn't whisper anymore. It shouts. Plastic bangles clack on your wrist. Your bag is round, shiny, and completely impractical. None of it makes sense. That's the point. Your eyes are the main event. You sit at your vanity for half an hour, perfecting your twiggy lashes, thick eyeliner on the lid, exaggerated lower lashes drawn on with black pencil, and shadow swept all the way up to your brows in baby blue. You look like a doll, a very awake, slightly alien doll. Your lipstick is pale, modest by color, not by intent. You want all attention on your gaze. The whole effect is clean, playful, and vaguely futuristic, like you're ready to be beamed into a moon-based disco. You spritz yourself with something citrusy and synthetic and head out into the street, where everything feels electric. Hair is bigger, skirts are shorter, and ideas are sharper. You pass by a group of older women who purse their lips. You smile and keep walking. Their disapproval is confirmation that you're on trend. In the cafe, you spot other girls like you, legs crossed, smirks on, talking about records and revolutions. One has a Vidal Sassoon haircut so sharp it could cut glass. Another is in a white shift dress that could double as a hospital gown, if not for the way she wears it, chin up, like a model. Historians still debate whether 1960s beauty liberated women or simply sold them another box with brighter wrapping. Were miniskirts power or objectification? Were false lashes self-expression or social pressure in disguise? You sip your espresso and decide it's neither. It's fun, and fun counts for more than people admit. Later, you head to a party. The room pulses with color and music. You sway with the beat, sleeves flared, eyeliner smudging slightly. A guy in paisley offers you a drink. You decline, not because you're polite, because you just had your lipstick touched up, and this shade took 20 minutes to mix. In the bathroom, you fix your hair, teased, sprayed, helmeted. You wonder if it'll ever move again. You laugh at your reflection. You're ridiculous. You're fantastic. Back home, the falsies come off. One by one, you wipe your eyes and look like a very tired panda. The mascara fights back. The eyeliner clings. Eventually, you emerge, face bare, lashes resting like tiny trophies on a cotton pad. You stare into the mirror and see someone new, not just because of the makeup, because of you. This isn't your mother's face. This is yours. Loud, weird, painted, powerful. You crawl into bed with a record spinning somewhere down the hall and dreams of color blocking in your head. Tomorrow might be jeans, or a suede jacket, or a caftan. The options are multiplying like lipsticks in a handbag. Because in the 60s, beauty isn't just a standard, it's a choice. And every day, you make it again. The music pulses through your bones, Donna Summer, glittering and relentless. You check your reflection one more time in the club's mirrored wall. You're shimmering, shining, and squeezed into a gold lame jumpsuit that reflects the disco ball like you are the disco ball. Welcome to the 1970s, baby. Beauty is big, bold, and unapologetically extra. You run your fingers through your feathered hair, fluffed, sprayed, and layered to perfection. It's like living with wings on your head. The Farrah Fawcett fantasy. You spent half an hour flipping the ends with a curling iron and exactly 3 songs on the radio trying to make it stay. Somehow, you've achieved volume that borders on divine intervention. Your eyes are rimmed with metallic shadow, silver on one lid, gold on the other. Your lashes are heavy with mascara, and your cheeks are awash in peachy blush that stretches all the way to your temples. It's not subtle. Nothing is supposed to be. This is a decade that abandoned beige in favor of everything shiny. Your lips are glossy, slick, and kissed with something called cinnamon shimmer. Historians still argue whether 70s makeup was a rebellion against conformity or just the byproduct of cosmetic companies discovering glitter. You lean toward rebellion, with a little glitter never hurting anyone. Your outfit tonight is one of your favorites. High-waisted bell-bottoms that make your legs look endless. Platform shoes that make you 6 feet tall and slightly unstable, a halter top that screams freedom. You've unhooked your bra and left it on the floor, not because of the fashion trend, because you can. It's your life, your look, your night. At the club, the lights spin. People are dancing like joy is a full-body workout. You join in without hesitation. Your hips move with the music. Your hair bounces with every beat, and the sweat only makes you shimmer more. This is beauty as movement. Beauty as energy. You are not standing still. You are not a delicate object on a shelf. You are light, color, sound. Later, you head to the diner with your friends. Everyone's still half dancing as they order pancakes and milkshakes at 2A. One of them has glitter stuck to their forehead. Another is laughing so hard they've smudged their mascara. You all look like chaos, but in the best way. During the day, it's a different vibe. The disco queen gives way to the earth goddess. You slip into denim, tight, high-waisted, flared like a trumpet. You wear embroidered blouses and fringe, no makeup but lip gloss, maybe a daisy behind your ear. You smell like patchouli and revolution. At home, your vanity holds both, the sparkle and the soft. You've got a bottle of Love's Baby Soft, a pot of blue eyeshadow, a tube of cherry cola lip balm, and a hairbrush that's seen too many teasing sessions. You might wear glitter tomorrow, or nothing at all. You watch yourself in the mirror as you remove your makeup. The glitter comes off reluctantly. The blush fades. Your skin reemerges, flushed, warm, very much alive. Historians still debate whether 1970s beauty was an escape or an embrace. Was it about fantasy? About freedom? About fighting expectations? You think it's all of that? On Saturday night, you wear sequins. On Sunday morning, you wear your bare face with equal pride. As you slip between satin sheets and hum a little Bee Gees under your breath, you smile. You've danced, laughed, lived in your body like it was a temple or a disco floor. And tomorrow, maybe jeans and a crop top, maybe another round of sparkle, maybe just sunscreen and a smile. Because tonight reminded you that beauty is not what you wear. It's how you wear it, with joy, with rhythm, with lights in your eyes. You pull on your power suit with the reverence of a knight donning armor. The shoulder pads are sharp enough to intimidate and padded enough to double as flotation devices. Welcome to the 1980s, where beauty is business. Blush is applied with a shovel, and your hair must be visible from space to be considered styled. The suit is navy with pinstripes, strong, structured, and cinched at the waist with a belt that says, "I run meetings in the world." Your blouse is silky, loud, and unapologetically fuchsia. It has a bow at the neck because it's the 80s, and bows are non-negotiable. This outfit doesn't whisper femininity. It shouts it through a megaphone while typing 80 words a minute. Your face is a masterpiece of layers. Foundation, concealer, powder. Then the real fun begins. You swipe blush from the apples of your cheeks up to your temples in dramatic stripes. Your eyes are decked out in shimmering teal shadow and thick black liner. Mascara is applied in industrial quantities. Your lips, red, always red, preferably glossy, preferably fire engine. You spritz yourself with something powerful, poison, opium, or another perfume that comes in a bottle shaped like an abstract sculpture and smells like confidence in a boardroom. Historians still argue whether 1980s beauty standards were empowering or performative. Were women claiming space or dressing like men thought powerful women should? As you zip your boots and fluff your perm for the third time this morning, you wonder, does it matter? If you feel unstoppable? Your hair is teased, sprayed, and teased again. It defies gravity. Your bangs have entered their own ecosystem. There's Aquanet in the air. You've sacrificed 3 combs to this look already. You'd do it again. You head out into a world of fluorescent lights, glass ceilings, and the hum of fax machines. You're a woman in a man's office, but today, you're not blending in. You're blinding them. At lunch, you meet a friend who works in advertising. Her eyeshadow is purple. Her blazer is turquoise. You sit at a glass table in a chrome cafe and talk about ambition like it's dessert. One woman walks by in heels so high you swear you feel dizzy just looking. You admire her. She's dangerous. Later, you head to an aerobics class in neon spandex. The instructor is yelling and smiling simultaneously. You're sweating in hot pink. Your headband matches your leg warmers. Your mascara stays put. This is what counts as relaxing. Now, back at home, you unwind with a glass of Tab and a Jane Fonda tape. You peel off your shoulder pads and massage your cheeks to remove the blush. It takes 3 wipes and a prayer to get back to skin. Your reflection startles you. It's less glossy, more raw, but still sharp, still capable, still you. Your vanity is cluttered with color-coded chaos, caboodles full of compacts, a rainbow of eyeshadows, 6 different shades of lipstick that somehow all read power. You slide off your heels and stretch your toes. You have never been taller, and it's not the shoes. Historians often say the 80s were about excess. Big hair, big dreams, big shoulder pads. But beneath all that volume was a generation of women saying, "We're here. We're bold. We brought our own briefcases." You slide into your bed, silk pajamas, glinting under the dim light of your digital clock. Tomorrow, maybe you'll try the blue suit, or wear green eyeliner to match your earrings, or say no when you mean no, just a little louder than usual. Because in the 1980s, beauty isn't just for show, it's your signature, and you sign it in red. You glance into your compact mirror, sigh, and reach for your tweezers. Again, welcome to the 1990s, where beauty means minimalism with maximum effort, and eyebrows are officially endangered. You sit on the floor in your bedroom, surrounded by CD cases, a cordless phone, and the faint smell of vanilla body spray. You're wearing low-rise jeans that defy logic and comfort, a baby tee that exposes an inch of stomach, and enough butterfly clips to hold together a small, nervous breakdown. Your hair is ironed flat, not straight, flat. You've spent 45 minutes chasing frizz and another 10 parting it perfectly down the center. Hair mousse, over, crunchy curls, band. This is the era of the hair straightener in the middle part that defines your whole personality. Your makeup, light, supposedly, but it's a lie. You start with matte foundation, just enough to blur every pore into oblivion. Then, brown lip liner, drawn boldly beyond your natural lips, filled in with frosty beige lipstick. Your eyes get a dusting of taupe, or, if you're feeling adventurous, icy blue. Mascara is mandatory. Glitter is optional, but emotionally necessary. You step into your platform sandals and give yourself one last look. Thin brows, matte lips, vaguely cynical expression. You're ready. At the mall, you and your friends flip through racks of spaghetti-strap dresses and cargo pants. Someone buys a tiny backpack purse that could hold 1 Tic Tac and a dream. You all spritz body spray samples like it's war prep. Cucumber melon. Anyone? You stop by the magazine rack. Everyone's reading 17 or Cosmo Girl. There's an article about the perfect lip for your face shape, next to a quiz titled, "Are you a flirt or a wallflower?" You roll your eyes but still fold the page into your bag. You meet up later at a house party. Someone's playing TLC, someone else is playing angst. You lean against the wall in your tank top and flannel tied at the waist. Someone compliments your lip liner. You smirk. You worked hard on that smirk. Historians still argue whether 90s beauty was a feminist reclaiming of minimalism or a subtle form of control dressed in Calvin Klein. Were we freed from blush or just taught to hate our shine another way? Later, alone in your room, you pull out the tweezers again. You stare at your brows. You pluck and pluck and pluck. Each hair a decision. Each gap a silent dare. Thin is in. You hope it stays that way. Your beauty products are few, but sacred. Lip smackers in 4 flavors. A compact from CoverGirl that's seen too many gym lockers. A brown eyeliner pencil that doubles as a lip tool. Everything fits in your mini makeup bag, lined with glitter. Obviously. You sit cross-legged and watch Clueless for the 3rd time this week. Cher's closet spins. Her hair bounces. Her brows are surprisingly full. You pause. Consider. Then shrug and keep watching. Later. You brush your hair. Pat on some night cream. In secret. And sigh. You're tired. Not from being a girl in the world, but from maintaining being a girl in the world. It's exhausting to look like you're not trying while trying so hard. You lie in bed in your oversized t-shirt, turn on the lava lamp, and drift off to the muffled sound of your CD player skipping. You're not sure what tomorrow's outfit will be. Maybe cargo pants. Maybe a slip dress. Maybe both. Beauty is a vibe now. And vibes are flexible. Because in the 1990s, being cool is everything. And being beautiful, that's just part of the aesthetic. You pull your jeans up, carefully, because they sit low, very low, dangerously low. Welcome to the early 2000s, where beauty is glittery, glossy, and forever teetering on the edge of a wardrobe malfunction. Your stomach is bare, your eyebrows are gone, your phone is a flip, your shoes are a platform sneaker, and your skin smells faintly of coconut-scented body glitter. You glance at yourself in your bedroom mirror, framed by fairy lights and magazine cutouts, and nod. You're a Bratz doll come to life. Your makeup starts with frosty eyeshadow, preferably baby blue or white. You swipe it all the way up to your brows, what's left of them. Your eyeliner is black and sharp, but only on the top lid, unless you're in your Avril Lavigne era. Mascara, then lip gloss. Thick, sticky, flavored, it reflects light like wet vinyl and doubles as flypaper in a breeze. You accessorize with rhinestones, tiny sunglasses that offer 0 sun protection, and a trucker hat that says something like juicy or drama queen. Your shirt is a spaghetti strap tank top layered over another tank top, or maybe under, honestly, no one knows the rules anymore, not even you. Your bag is a tiny shoulder purse filled with lip gloss, glitter gel, a Nokia brick, and the phone number of someone you probably won't call. You head to the mall, the social ecosystem of the era. Everyone is loitering near a Claire's or a Hot Topic. Someone's getting their ear pierced in the middle of the store. A kiosk is selling stick-on belly gems. You feel mildly underdressed and wildly over-accessorized at the same time. There's a freedom here. You're not trying to look natural. You're trying to look like a pop star made of lip gloss and rhinestones. You look shiny. You look like a fire hazard. Historians still argue whether Y2K beauty was empowerment through exaggeration or a marketing fever dream. Were we reclaiming the fun of femininity, or just hypnotized by Paris Hilton's highlighter? You stop in a department store to spritz a new perfume that smells like sugar and ozone. You love it. You hate it. You buy it anyway. Later that night, you're at a friend's house party. Someone has a digital camera the size of a burrito. You take 47 blurry photos with peace signs and duck lips. Someone brings out body shimmer. You apply it liberally. Your shoulder is now reflective. Your pants are so low-rise that sitting down becomes an engineering challenge. But your midriff is taut. Your belt sparkles. And your butterfly tattoo, fake, is exactly where it should be. Back at home, you scrub off the glitter with baby oil and a little regret. Your face is still slightly sticky. You pull on pajama pants with princess across the rear and collapse into bed, exhausted from being that shiny for so long. Your vanity table holds a collection of clear lip gloss tubes, pink razors, butterfly clips, a bottle of Sun-In you definitely misused, and a broken compact you still refuse to throw away. You stare at yourself in the mirror. Your lashes clump. Your brows are barely there. Your lips are chapped beneath the gloss. You're ridiculous. You're beautiful. You're doing your best. Because in the Y2K era, beauty isn't subtle. It's extra. And it dares you not to look. You scroll through your phone at midnight, swiping between videos about skincare routines, contour hacks, and 10-step K-beauty regimens. Your face glows, not from product, but from screen light. Welcome to the 2010s and beyond, where beauty is digital, global, and never fully logged off. Your morning starts with choices. So many choices. Do you double cleanse? Do you glass skin or slug? Is it a no makeup day or full glam? You stare at your shelf. Serums, acids, creams with names that sound like science experiments. Historians still argue whether this explosion in skincare is empowerment or anxiety in a bottle. Either way, you pat on your niacinamide like it's holy water. You lean into the mirror and assess texture, tone, hydration level. Then you begin your makeup ritual. Primer, foundation, concealer under the eyes in a triangle, contour under cheekbones, down the nose, jawline, highlighter, blush, not on the apples, but high on the cheeks like a TikTok taught you. Brows are brushed up and laminated, lashes curled and coated, lips overlined, setting spray, twice. You take a photo in good lighting. You review it with the precision of an art curator. Then you open an app, smooth one pore, erase one shadow. Just a touch, just a to sight, just enough retractor. You're not changing yourself, you're just helping the camera see what you meant to look like. You step outside in athleisure that somehow costs more than formal wear did 10 years ago. You've achieved the effortless look that takes at least 45 minutes. Hair in a messy bun, curated to appear spontaneous. Nails, gel, or press-ons from that influencer collab. You walk into a cafe and glance around. Everyone looks amazing. Everyone looks tired. You suspect you all woke up too early and moisturized too hard. One girl has rainbow eyeliner. Another has a skincare fridge. You order your coffee with oat milk and take a selfie while you wait. You're not vain. You're curating, archiving, branding. You delete 6 photos before posting one with a caption that reads, "Just rolled out of bed, lol." Later, your friends meet up for a dinner that turns into a photo shoot. Poses are practiced, angles memorized. The lighting is never bad, just less optimal. Someone's talking about a new filter that makes you look like a ceramic doll. Another is testing LED masks. Someone else swears their jade roller changed their face shape. Everyone agrees. Beauty is a full-time job with no PTO. And yet, in quieter moments, there's softness. You sit with a friend and remove your makeup with a balm that smells like nostalgia. You talk about your teen years, your bad brows, your worst haircuts. You laugh. You look real. Back home, you tuck your hair into a silk wrap, apply retinol, then lock it all in with a slug of Vaseline. It's not glamorous, but it's sacred. You stare into your bathroom mirror, one face, many versions, each one valid, each one intentional. Your vanity drawer contains skincare from Korea, mascara from France, foundation from 12 shades ago, and highlighters that could blind a small bird. It's chaos. It's yours. Historians still debate whether modern beauty culture is liberating or exhausting. You think it's both? You've never had more options. You've never felt more watched. But you've also never been more aware of what beauty means. For you. You crawl into bed, your skin dewy, your hair in a claw clip. You open your phone, you scroll one last time. A girl in Finland is showing her blush trick. A guy in Brazil is perfecting his eyeliner. A non-binary model in Tokyo just launched a lipstick line. Beauty is everywhere now, and everyone gets to play. Because today, beauty isn't a rule. It's a language. And you're fluent. You stand in front of the mirror with no makeup on, not because you're lazy, not because you forgot, but because today you just didn't feel like it. Welcome to the future, or at least the version of now where beauty is fluid, personal, and, finally, up to you. Your moisturizer goes on with purpose. No one told you to use it. You wanted to. It feels good. You follow it with sunscreen, because protection is the new glam. You might add a little concealer, maybe brush your brows, maybe not. Your face doesn't need to transform to count. You slip into clothes that make you feel like yourself. Could be a jumpsuit, could be a hoodie, could be a dress with pockets and combat boots. There's no theme, no decade to follow. Just what fits your mood and what gives you the power to walk out the door and say, yes, this is me. You pass your reflection and don't wince, don't adjust. You nod. It's a quiet truce with the mirror. On your feed, beauty looks different every swipe. One person's glowing with full glam, another's barefaced and smiling. One is in a wheelchair, one wears a hijab, one is dancing with a full chest of chest hair and glitter. They're all stunning, not because they fit a mold, because they're not trying to. You see girls embracing their natural curls after years of straightening. You see boys painting their nails without hesitation. You see aging no longer hidden, but framed in gold, silver hair, laugh lines, confidence that wears no filter. You watch a young creator describe how she learned to love her wide nose. She says it was never the nose that needed changing, just the camera angles. Historians of the future will probably debate this moment too. They'll wonder if this era really shattered the standards or just reshaped them, whether self-love was a revolution or another form of branding, but you don't need their conclusions, because here, now, you get to decide what's beautiful, what's worth effort, what's worth rest. Tonight, your skincare routine is slow and soft. You pat each product into your skin with care, not chasing flawlessness, just offering yourself peace. You light a candle, pull a blanket over your shoulders, watch a video of someone painting their nails, bright green, while reading poetry. You think, there is no one way to be beautiful. There never was. There were only rules, and the brave souls who broke them. You look at your own reflection again. You're a mosaic of centuries, red lips and bare brows, glitter and minimalism, corsets and crop tops. You carry all of it and none of it, because the final form of beauty isn't one look. It's being at ease in your own skin, even when it changes. The room is quiet now. The glow of your screen fades to a soft hum, and your breathing slows with it. No more eyeliner, no more scrolling, no more tug of war between what you were told and what you believe. Let your shoulders fall. You've walked through caves and courts, salons and sidewalks, disco floors and comment sections. You've carried centuries of expectation and still found a way to laugh, to paint, to shine. Let that history soften in your chest. Let it settle. There's no audience now, no mirror, no filter, just the rhythm of your breath and the comfort of being enough. You can release the tightness behind your eyes, unclench your jaw, loosen your grip on the day. Whatever face you wore, whatever body you moved through the world with, it served you, it told your story. And now, as the night stretches out before you, that story gets to rest. You are not your hair. You are not your brows. You are not your likes, or your lashes, or your waistline. You are a moment in time, a masterpiece in progress, a whisper of light between centuries of reflection. So sleep easy. The mirror will be there tomorrow, and when you wake, it will recognize you. End of script. Sweet dreams.